About halfway down the Baja Peninsula on the eastern coast, the city of La Paz is home to one of the most unique, humbling, thrilling experiences in the world. Here, in the Sea of Cortez, just below the surface, you can swim face to face with the largest fish in the sea, the whale shark. And I'm diving in. And in La Paz, the sea gives in so many ways.
Amazing! Wow, el color!
¿Qué tal?
In my kitchen, a light, tender, flaky, pan-seared halibut with 5 pepper sauce. And crunchy, packed with flavor coconut rice. But first, I can't wait for these. Empanadas with one of my favorite ingredients of all time. Wait for it. Sardines.
Maybe you're saying, I'm gonna turn off the channel. I don't wanna watch Pati anymore. What is she doing? No, stick with me. I'm going to convince you that sardines deserve a comeback.
Dame, dame tu piloncillo, dame, dame. Dame café caliente, dame, dame. Dame tu corazón.
Over my many travels throughout Mexico, you may think that I've seen it all. But no, there are so many hidden gems to be uncovered. New flavors, new experiences, new adventures. And La Paz, the capital of Baja California Sur, is a treasure waiting to be opened. This pearl of a city sits on the Sea of Cortez side of the peninsula, with beautiful beaches, charming restaurants, and a relaxed atmosphere. What more do you need? How about sharks? One of the main draws to La Paz is the whale shark.
We're gonna go make new friends.
A gentle giant that can grow up to 40 feet long. Moving slowly through the water, they feast on plankton, not people. So for an absolutely new experience, you can hire a boat to take you to swim alongside one of these magnificent creatures.
Ahí está. ¿Ah? Aquí está, aquí está. Did you see that? I was swimming right next to it for like a full 5 minutes.
I know.
Did you see it?
Yeah.
It was really incredible. Incredible.
There are few things as relaxing as seaside dining. La Paz has a breezy stroll along its main beach, and there's no better place to people watch than El Bismarcito. It started off as a cart but has grown into a dining destination.
I'm here with the owner, Juanita, and her sister, Elsa. And they're sharing with me the fascinating story of this place that started with just a food stand. So the specialty of the Bismarck when Juanita's mom started was a caguama. And the caguama is a gigantic turtle. ¿Cómo la preparaban? Sopa de caguama.
Sopa y los pechos los hacían asados y les decían azotillo. Todo el mundo quería
Y
azotillo.
hacía aleta rellena
Y
también.
la aleta rellena.
So since like 1992, it was prohibited to hunt and cook and offer caguama. Entonces cambiaron a mariscos.
Todo el marisco.
Mariscos.
Sí.
Jacques Cousteau called the Sea of Cortez the world's aquarium. With such an abundance of sea life, El Bismarcito has a bounty of ingredients to create hit after tasty hit.
¿Qué probado la machaca de Marlin. ¿Esta es machaca de Marlin?
De Marlin ahumado.
Okay, ahumado. Machaca means you take any kind of meat or fish and you dehydrate it, then you shred it, and then you cook it. And I've never tasted smoked marlin or smoked marlin machaca. Nunca he probado la machaca de marlin. No. Es mi primera vez en La Paz. It's my first time in La Paz.
Muy rico.
It tastes a little bit like fresh tuna. It just has a lot of personality. It's not too strong, but it's like telling you, I'm here, I'm different, and I'm delicious.
Sí.
Este es lobster, ¿verdad?
Sí.
Esta se guisa en mantequilla.
Ya vi. The lobster taco is buttery, really, really light, not so fishy, almost creamy. They're well known not only for their tacos, but also for their empanadas. Ya me dijeron mucho de this, and this is a Marlin empanada. Wow, el color. My favorite. The dough is sweet. Está delicioso.
¿Te gustó?
No, me fascinó, buenísimo. Me podía quedar aquí las horas probando todos sus diferentes tacos. Muchas gracias que se quedaron a platicar conmigo.
Gracias a
Pero
usted.
me encantó visitar su La Paz. Aquí voy a seguir. Swimming with that whale shark was one of the most incredible experiences in my life. Another memorable thing that happened in La Paz was eating these amazing Marlin empanadas. And I'm gonna show you one of my favorite empanada recipes, which is the sardine empanadas that I'm gonna make right now. So I chopped half of this white onion, and I have my pan set here over medium heat. I'm gonna add 2 tablespoons of vegetable oil. So I have a half a pound of white button mushrooms. You don't usually think of mushrooms and sardines together because sardines have such a strong flavor. It ends up being that they go really, really well together. Some freshly ground black pepper, a half a teaspoon of salt. Let's talk about sardines. I have very, very strong opinions about sardines because I love sardines. When I first said that I'm gonna make sardine empanadas, maybe you're saying, I'm gonna turn off the channel, I don't wanna watch Pati anymore, what is she doing? No, stick with me. I'm going to convince you that sardines deserve a comeback. If you have them in your pantry, they'll wait for you forever. They never expire. So get a can of sardines. Now I'm gonna chop about a half a pound of ripe Roma tomatoes. I want all of the seeds in there because I want my filling to be a little bit saucy. A half a cup of pimiento stuffed manzanilla olives. And I want them in chunks. I want to be able to bite into them. Now I'm gonna add one of my favorite ingredients of all time, which is pickled jalapenos. So when we first moved to this area, we went for the weekend to the Eastern Shore, and there was this really fabulous pizzeria. And we asked for a pizza, and when they asked me what toppings, I said pepperoni and pickled jalapenos. And the guy looked at me like, I don't know what you're talking about. And I said, you don't have pickled jalapenos for your pizza? And he said, no, I don't know what that is. I was in such shock, because in Mexico, it's just either a topping that you choose to add from the beginning, and if you don't choose to add it from the beginning, you know what they do? They give you little containers with them, because you're supposed to add them to whatever kind of pizza you get. And the juices are yum, because they're very vinegary. All I need to add now are the sardines, and that's the filling for the empanadas. We have our puff pastry that it's been thawing. So I'm just gonna roll these to about 1/8 of an inch. You don't have to use a fancy ring mold for these. You can use anything that cuts. You can use any cookie mold. You could use a cup. So I'm gonna start filling my empanadas. And before that, I'm going to separate the egg yolks from the egg whites. And I'm going to use the egg whites as egg glue to stick my empanada. And I'm gonna use my egg yolk as an egg wash to glaze the empanada. And I'm just going to brush a little bit of this egg white around, just on its edges. And then I'm gonna stuff this empanada with about a tablespoon of the filling, but it is an overloaded, copious amount of filling in this tablespoon. And then we use the egg white to stick the dough. See, so I'm making like a half moon. With the fork, you just go around and you press, and that helps seal the sides of the empanada, and it also decorates it a little. Then you grab your egg yolk and you brush it on the top. After they bake, it's gonna give them a deeper, more golden brown, much more appealing. I have really strong positive feelings towards sardines because I don't know if I've told you before, but my dad is the best torta maker in the world. And his most famous tortas are one, ham and cheese, avocado, tomato, but the other one, which is his favorite, is a sardine torta. So he grabs the crusty Mexican bread and then he smashes sardines right out of their tin. He smashes avocado, he adds some thin slices of white onion, some pickled jalapenos, and those tortas are really incredible. So we loved sardines growing up, and I think I've passed on this appreciation for sardines to my boys. I'm gonna bake my empanadas anywhere from 20 to 22 minutes in my oven, which has been preheated at 400 degrees.
Adventures in the kitchen are every bit as rewarding as those of the sea. And at the Tanka restaurant, that's just what I'm diving into.
Carlos Valdez.
Hola, Pati, ¿cómo estás?
Chef Carlos Valdez has a different approach to Baja cuisine. Using the gifts from both sides of the Sea of Cortez, he's a master of both land and sea.
Bienvenida, Baja, ¿eh?
Gracias, Carlos.
A La
Qué
Paz.
gusto, ¿eh? Qué gusto.
Encantado, un placer. Te tengo preparado un plato.
¿Ah, sí?
Pero una sorpresa también.
No me digas.
Sí.
He also delights in presenting ingredients that are a bit unusual. Carlos starts me off with some local raw clams.
Amazing. ¿Cómo se llama
Todo.
esta?
Esta es la almeja blanca.
Nunca la había probado.
Es
I've never tasted it. It's just clean,
Sweet, ¿no? Un poquito dulce,
impeccable.
¿no?
Very sweet.
Ajá.
And like, I can still taste it after I swallowed it, and there's a really big sweet echo
Perfecto.
in my mouth. It's just delicious.
Tengo una sorpresa, amiga.
Además de esto.
No, bueno, esto es el inicio nada más.
Ok.
Vas a probar la almeja más exótica.
¡Wow!
Esta es la,
¿Qué es eso?
esta es la almeja generosa, mira.
¿Qué es eso?
¿Eh?
¿Qué es,
Mira, mira,
¿qué
mira.
es eso, Carlos?
Bueno, esto se llama almeja generosa, almeja chiluda, mirugai en Japón o gyudak.
Guido. Ok.
Ese es el nombre.
It's a gyudok. So how do you prepare it?
¿Ok? Primeramente se mete 15 segundos a
Ok.
blanquear. ¿Ok?
So 15 seconds in hot
Yeah.
boiling water.
Ok.
Ok.
Se saca, mira cómo quedó. Se mete al agua súper fría. Ya que está fría, vamos a desarmar la almeja, ¿no? ¿Te fijas cómo está saliendo de aquí? Esta parte es para sashimi,
Ok.
esta parte para tiradito.
Ok.
Y está esto listo. ¿Qué tal?
The clam tastes like a cross between scallop and conch or sea snail.
Ajá.
It's very pleasant. Y con tus garnishes aquí, está
plato.
delicioso.
It seems I came to La Paz to taste things I had no idea I was going to taste. And Carlos made sure that that would continue.
Mira, sorpresa, es la cajita de Pandora, mira. Ahorita vas a probar un taco de lengua.
¿Qué hiciste, Carlos?
De cerdo, mira, ve, esta es la lengua. Tenemos lista las tortillas que hacemos aquí nosotros. Entonces, con la parte de la cabeza hacemos lo que es el chicharrón prensado.
So the chicharrón, which is typically the pork cracklings or the pig skin, he now took it from the entire pig's head. It's deep fried, and then it's pressed, and then it's seasoned.
Y en la cebollita, la verdolaga.
Es clásica.
Clásica,
la combinación de cerdo con verdolagas está en todas las casas,
sí,
en todos
las
los
casas.
mercados. De
Aguacate, sal, limón, un poquito de cebolla.
Okay. This is my first time eating pig's tongue.
¿Qué tal?
The pig's tongue is just, it's so, I love beef tongue, but this has a very different flavor. It's very, very soft. El chicharrón prensado is so tasty. It is an incredible taco, and I can really taste the taqueria experience, but it is, you know, taking it to the sublime. ¿Quieres hacer otro?
Sí, claro.
The empanadas are ready, and look at how beautiful they are. The color, see how the dark brown has that golden hue, and you can see how much they puffed up. So let me grab one. And the feeling. That feeling has so much personality. I can taste the pasty, flaky, strong flavor of the sardine, the soft bite of the mushroom, which helps balance it out, the briny olives, and the very light bite of the pickled jalapenos. It's delicious because it's all wrapped with that sweet puff pastry. So that's one amazing thing about empanadas. It is at the same time so light and so packed with flavor. Being in La Paz, where I ate so many different delicious kinds of fish in so many delicious ways, made me really inspired to come home and cook a fish recipe that will really let that fish shine. So to go along with that fish, I'm gonna make some coconut rice. So I'm going to add 3 tablespoons of vegetable oil. And I have my pan here set over medium-high heat. 2 cups of rice, and you can use long, extra long white rice or jasmine rice. I'm gonna chop about a half a cup of white onion, and I'm gonna chop it as fine as I can. I don't want to bite into pieces of onion. I just wanted to season and help me with the texture, but I wanted to do it in a discreet way. 3 cloves of garlic, and I'm also going to chop them really fine. 3 cups of chicken broth. And I love making rice with chicken broth because the chicken broth really makes it homey. And then just 1 cup of coconut cream because I wanted to have a coconut taste, but I don't want it to be a dessert rice. 1 teaspoon of salt when it's actively bubbling, like really aggressively bubbling. The bubbles are so aggressive, they don't even know where to go. That's when you cover it, reduce it to low heat, and now we're gonna make a pan-seared halibut with a 5-pepper sauce, and I'm going to start with the sauce. I have here peanut oil. I love the nutty, deep flavor that peanut oil has. I'm gonna add a cup of it, 2 tablespoons of toasted sesame oil, a cup of white wine vinegar, and you see how the vinegar reacts with the oil as soon as you add them because oil and vinegar. A 1/4 cup of dark brown sugar. I think this is a lot of fun. I feel like I'm back in 10th grade in my chemistry class. 2 teaspoons of salt, a cup of chicken broth, and then that's it. The sauce is gonna cook over low heat for about 3 minutes, and now I'm gonna get my 5 peppers to be dressed with that sauce. And I already have 1 yellow bell pepper, you know, I'm not a super fan of green bell pepper, but when I'm using both red and yellow, I bring in the green for a pop of color, and because I think that the sweetness of the red and the yellow balances the sort of bittery aftertaste of the green bell pepper. And we're gonna add more peppers, you guys, because this has no heat. We're gonna add a jalapeno. You love the jalapeno just like I do. We're gonna use a whole jalapeno. A manzano chile, which is a chile that you have to get to know. It is absolutely stunning. It is feisty, it is spicy, it is a lot more spicy than the jalapeno. And you know, this makes me so happy because when I moved to the US 20 years ago and I moved to Texas, you could find jalapenos and then you could find serranos, and if you were lucky, poblanos, and that was it. And today you can find most of the chiles that you find in Mexico. That makes me very happy because you guys are getting to have a lot more tools in your kitchen. And then we're gonna add more color and more flavor. We're gonna sliver a red onion into what we call plumita, or little feathers. So I know the manzano sounds intimidating, but this sauce is going to tame the heat in here. 2 tablespoons of freshly squeezed lime juice, just a little bit more salt, and it's gonna keep on getting better as I cook the fish. And I have my super fresh halibut because I'm friends with my fishmonger. All I'm gonna do is add some salt and pepper. And I'm going to continue with the peanut oil. So I'm adding about a tablespoon or 2. I'm gonna cook my fish skin side down first so that the skin has the opportunity to crisp really nicely. And also, I'm gonna be able to see as it cooks from the bottom up, so I will know when to flip it. This is a really nice sight because you can see how the color of the fish starts transforming from raw and more pinkish to a white cooked color. It's really good to read the signs. The fish is telling you when it's cooking and up to where it's cooking. So when it gets to like halfway, I'm gonna flip it, and then I know I'm gonna cook it for 1 or 2 more minutes. What we do in Mexico with the crispy skin that's already flavored is we take off the skin, we grab a corn tortilla, and we turn it into a taco. And in fact, that's what I'm gonna do. Just watch these come together, okay? I'm gonna garnish my coconut rice with some sweetened coconut flakes that I seasoned with some cinnamon and salt, and then I baked in the oven for a few minutes. Grab my fish. So you can see it's very pretty. And I'm gonna add my 5-pepper salsa. Garnish with a little bit of basil. The fish is so flaky and soft, and the sauce is so light and vinegary. It's not that spicy at all. Let me heat a tortilla in here. It's so delicious. It's sweet and savory coming together, and it's soaked up some of that 5-pepper sauce, so it's nice and vinegary. And I mean, Mexicans, we just love to taco anything, right? So you don't have to make a taco out of this, but if you love the crisp skin, This fish, just like this with the rice and the sauce, it's absolutely delicious. But if you have a corn tortilla handy, wouldn't you want to eat it like this?